So I got a wee one, rock tumbler that is. Look at the size of that little cutesy. It was given to me, and I thought I'd try it out with some agate. So what I'll do is I'll cut up this agate. Look at this. Doesn't that look like two eyeballs looking at you? Ooh. So I'll cut up that one. Maybe that one. Just some little pieces of agate that I've got lying around. Maybe some blue one as well. What do you think? We'll see what we can make from that. So let's make some jewelry. Okay, just using a towel saw, I'll start with the blue rock. That might be nice, eh? Oh, that's lovely stuff inside. But I need smaller pieces for a small tumbler. Okay. Okay, there's my wee tumbler filled with just various sizes and shapes of rock. All I really try to do is get it about, 2/3 full, 70% full, something like that. Okay, water just below the level of the rocks. There we go. Not so much so they swim. Not too little either. And this is silicon carbide 6090 grit. Considering this is about maybe 1.5 pounds of rock, I'll put about 1.5 tablespoons in there. Button it up. See you in 2 weeks. Well, it's been 2 weeks. We got our rocks. I think we need to open them up. But first off, just got to tell you, I dropped this camera into the water in a mine in an earlier video, and I thought the camera was done. But one of the subscribers, so big shout out to Simon in the UK for suggesting that I take the camera apart and I blow out all the switches and everything else I can get at with compressed air. And I think the camera's working. So here we go. Let's see what these rocks look like. Whoa, it's foamy. Get them cleaned up. And then get them into the next round. Or keep going in the coarse grit. But I think they're probably going to be okay. Let's take a look. See what I mean by foamy? Wow. That's okay. And now, the big reveal. So, tell you what, I'm going to wash them really well and we'll put them into medium grit. And of course, wash this bad boy out too, because you don't want to transfer coarse grit into medium grit. You want to have everything spick and span clean. Okay, silicon carbide, 150 220 grit, small tumbler, so I need maybe 1 teaspoon. There it is there. Nice clean water, just below the first level of the rocks. Button it up, we'll get it running again. To summarize where we're at, I've been running the tumbler for 2 weeks with the agate in a medium grit. So the coarse grit will do very rough rounding. The medium grit will finalize the rounding. This next stage is put it into pre-polish, which doesn't really round anymore. What it will do is remove any minute scratches off the rocks, so when they go into polish, they'll be nice and shiny. So let's take a look at these rocks and then get them into pre-polish. So once again, water just below the top level of the rocks. You don't want them to be swimming around in too much water, or the grit won't do its thing. This is silicon carbide, 500 grit, also known as fine tumbling grit or pre-polish. I got 1 pound of rocks, so I'll use 1 tablespoon. Now we button it up and let it run for a week. Alright, it's been 8 days. I think we've done this stage. There's my slurry. So there they are, clean and wet. So they still need to polish. So they keep that nice gleam on them. Let's quickly get them into the polish and start the run. So the polish we're going to use is called alumina. There it is there. It's a very fine polish. And just wanted to state, if you're reusing your measuring spoon, when you go to the polish round, make sure it's absolutely clean. There's no point dumping grit from earlier rounds that stuck to your spoon into your tumbler. Easy thing to forget. The other little trick I'm going to do is use white sugar from the kitchen. That'll help the alumina stick to the rocks and polish them just a little bit better. So let's get this running and we'll see how they turn out in a few days. You know what time it is? It's time to burnish. So we've got our rocks. They've been running for a week. I peeked at them at about day 4 and they needed more time in the polish. So we'll dump them out of the polish, start burnishing, and we'll see if we made some shiny rocks. Let's do it. So that really foamed up quite a bit, but that's okay. Let's dump her out and clean them off. The great unveiling. So I met a guy recently at a rock show, and he said, I'm not getting a good polish. It looks good when the rocks are wet, but once they dry up, they're dull. So I said, did you burnish? And he says, no, what's that? So I'm going to show you how to burnish your rocks. There's my rocks in the bucket. What I'm using is ivory soap. What you need to use is some kind of pure soap, not something with perfume in it, not something with oils or anything like that, just pure soap. And for this, because the soap is a bar, I'm using a cheese grater, just to make it nice and small. You can buy sometimes the soap already powdered, which will save you this step. But you put a little bit of soap in, then button it up, run it at least 3 hours. I've heard some people run it more than 3 days. There we go. See you in a bit. You can see the soapy water has changed a bit of a gray color, so it probably was necessary. Let's rinse these bad boys off, let them dry, and then take a look at our results. Well, there's my rocks. I think some are looking kind of nice. Not sure which one is my favorite, but I'm thinking I do like the blue. But man, I kind of like them all. Feel free to leave in the comments which one you like the best, or if you think you didn't like it at all. Guess that's possible. So thank you so much for watching. I've got an empty tumbler. We'll get it rocking and a rolling soon.